and I like this guy, but how great would Jalen Hurts be without A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Saquon Barkley?
Yeah.
Or two of them. I mean, but you got him clearly, and he's been phenomenal in Super Bowls, and he is clutch. But Purdy's was good in the one Super Bowl he played in.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm so happy you asked that question. I mean, we can't take away every single player. In 2021, when it was just Devontae as a rookie, let's take a look and see what Jalen Hurts did. Oh, it looks like he was a top 10 quarterback. That's interesting. PFF ranked him at an 80.8. And that was with a weird thing where Nick Sirianni was calling the plays, then Shane Steichen was calling the plays in the middle, kind of not the perfect thing. And when you look at the quarterbacks that were ahead of him, obviously a lot of these quarterbacks had a lot of experience, better situations, just more. But let's keep going. In year one, he was the third best runner, clearly better than Zach Wilson. That's just because, Zach Wilson didn't do as much, so we can remove him there. So he was essentially the second best runner in terms of rating above Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts was 86.6, Josh Allen was 92.3, and Patrick Mahomes was 81.5. But again, let's keep going. Again, Jalen Hurts was top 14, really just a few throws away from being top 10 again in big-time throws. That's without A.J. Brown, that's without Saquon Barkley, etc., etc., etc. And in fact, was top 9, just behind none other than Tom Brady in big-time throw percentage. So the percentage of big-time throws based on how many times he was throwing the ball. So just not like the sheer bottom line number, kind of like almost like a touchdown percentage type thing. Seems pretty good to me. How about turnover-worthy plays? Bottom 10, which is good. So essentially top 10, right? You want a lower number of turnover-worthy plays. I think we could understand that. Who was ahead of him? He was tied with Lamar Jackson, but who was ahead of him? Dak Prescott, Patrick Mahomes. Ooh, Patrick Mahomes. Jimmy G, Jimmy G, Matthew Stafford, Josh Allen, Ben Roethlisberger, So he was at the bottom 10 of the league. Seems pretty good to me. First year starter, dealing with a lot of pressure in terms of like defensive pressure. Bottom 3 in pressure to sack percentage. Up there with Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. But what's really interesting when you actually look at him not only avoiding sacks, but then what he did after he then avoided said sack. Jalen Hurts was the number 1 rushing quarterback in the NFL in 2021. 784 yards, more than Lamar, more than Josh Allen, Kyler, Justin Fields, Patrick Mahomes, etc., etc., etc. Had 10 touchdowns. The tush push. No, it wasn't. 5.6 yards per attempt. So he was, at the top with that. But I guess it was also because of the tush push. Like, okay, guess that makes sense, right? No, it doesn't. How do we also know it doesn't make sense? Because he was top 3 with yards after contact. So I don't think he did the tush push and then was able to rip off a 10 yards after that. He also certainly didn't do the tush push 322 times. Think we know that. Think we know that. Jalen Hurts, 10 plus yard runs. He led the league with 29 10 plus yard runs. More than Josh Allen, more than Lamar Jackson, more than Patrick Mahomes, more than Justin Fields, more than Kyler, more than Tyler Huntley, Debo. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. And then when he had to scramble, the undesigned runs, when he was avoiding sacks, second most yards, 416. Josh Allen had 450. So he had more than Patrick Mahomes, more than Lamar Jackson. You get what I'm saying. You understand. And then when they actually did do the designed runs, second most. Second most. 368 to Lamar Jackson's 373. Jalen Hurts also had 56 rushing first downs, which was number 1 again. Pretty remarkable. Pretty remarkable. Jalen Hurts, second most, because we're not counting Debo, second most for runs that were 15 or more. And Jalen Hurts in 2021 with a first-year head coach, first-year starter, without a stacked roster, no Saquon, no AJ, etc., 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 had that offense ranked 82.5, second best offense in the NFL. It's pretty good to me. That's pretty good to me. It was actually technically had a higher ranking than the Kansas City Chiefs offense. It was actually higher than Joe Burrow and the Bengals, although that was 2021. I don't know if Joe Burrow got injured or not. Doesn't even matter. Probably not, I assume. But more than Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. And again, these rankings always have to be put in context. I don't remember exactly how the 21 season ended, so it's harder for me to point out the ones that are like, well, this doesn't make sense. But it seems like it actually is pretty good, because when you look at top 7, you have 13-4, 12-5, 10-7, 13-4, 10-7, 12-5. So it all seems within striking range. There's not like any random team where you're like, well, that's an outlier. If anything, the Eagles are the biggest outlier. And what would be the outlier? Jalen Hurts? Oh, okay. You know, the quarterback that then went on to then take this team to a Super Bowl, and then went to another Super Bowl, and then won, and then became Super Bowl MVP. Okay. Yeah. Broke lots of records, too many records to keep. Okay. And he's been great in Super Bowls. Yeah. I think that matters. I think that holds weight. Would Jalen Hurts play that great in Super Bowls if he did not have the team around him? I concede, guys. I know. I'm a hypocrite. I do not think Jalen Hurts would be breaking records and winning Super Bowls if you took away all of his offense and all of his defense. I agree. And if I was out there calling the plays, I don't think Jalen Hurts would do very good. I confess. I know. But we saw what he did then with a pretty good team. A decent team. Obviously not a bunch of nobodies, but, you know, pretty decent team. Still a good O-line and good defensive line. Not a great defense. The defense was like ranked 20th or so. So, like, not like an unstoppable defense that was just forcing turnovers left and right. Yeah. And he led them 9-8, led them to the playoffs. He was top of the NFL by many metrics, or just top 10 by many metrics, but certainly rushing as well, obviously, as I just went through. So that's what Jalen Hurts did. So that doesn't count? I don't understand. Again, was Jalen Hurts like an MVP candidate that year? Did he light the league on fire? No. And it was his like first real year being a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, you know? And he was able to do that. And then with the first year head coach. You know? It's not like this was year 3 or year 4 where he like already got to get settled. He understood what the NFL was. So he not only did he prove to be a top quarterback in the NFL by many, many metrics, both in a traditional quarterback sense, as well as rushing, obviously, which people still seem to like want to downplay weirdly, depending on who you're trying to talk about. And he did it like as a first-year starter, which is all the more impressive. All the more impressive. All the more impressive. I don't know, man. I do not know. I mean, his best weapon was a rookie, right? I mean, he was the leading rusher on his team. Miles Sanders only played 12 games, had only 754 yards, 0 touchdowns. I mean, he was averaging 62 yards per game. That's not a lot. Jalen Hurts was averaging 52.3 yards per game. I mean, he didn't have a 1,000-yard receiver. Devontae was right there. 916. Pretty interesting. I mean, remember Jalen Reagor? I know a lot of Eagles fans remember him. He was he was one of the best wide receivers, I think, in Eagles history, I think. Pretty sure, right? That's sarcasm. Not sure if you guys know that. I mean, one of his top weapons, Zach Ertz, they just traded away. I mean, seriously. I mean, he's out there dealing to Quez Watkins. I mean, he got no run support. I'm almost positive Devontae was a rookie in 2021. Yeah, a rookie. So his best target was just a 6 foot, buck 70. Exaggerating. You see how it says 170 up here? Or you can't, but it says 170, which means it's really like 170 after he ate a ton and drank a ton of water. Okay, dude's like 155, 160. I weigh more than him. And I love Devontae. I mean, I praise Devontae left and right, but you know, just it's hard to kind of take over the league in that regard. I mean, heck, Jaden Daniels, who I praised left and right as well, like at least had Terry McLaurin, who was like in the league, has been around the block. You know what I'm saying? Like some true experience here. Before Jaden Daniels got there, I mean, Terry McLaurin was playing 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23. 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards. I mean, Jalen Hurts had a rookie wide receiver there. And Dallas Goedert, who was the second, was essentially his wide receiver too, his tight end, had his second best year. He was 334, and I know Zach Ertz was there and all that stuff, so I get that. But still, he had 87 targets in 2019. He had less targets in 2021, but had over 200 more yards. And this was his highest average yards per reception. I mean, Jalen Hurts got to get some credit for that. I mean, I know everyone's saying Patrick Mahomes made Travis Kelce, even though he was already all pro. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So yeah, man, that's what Jalen Hurts did with an average defense, average weapons, especially considering how young they were and they're being a first-year starter or just a true rookie. Not that potent of a run game. No Saquon Barkley. Miles Sanders was not lighting the league on fire. Missed plenty of games as well. Having to deal with like Quez Watkins and Jalen Reagor. I mean, looked pretty good to me. So just because you can't remember what happened in 2021, it doesn't mean it didn't happen. That's a true story. Okay? Just because you don't remember something doesn't mean that it didn't happen. And guess what? It's not that hard to look up either. Like, and this is just the stats of it. This isn't even pointing out like key moments, key plays, key throws, key pickups with your legs. Like that matters. And then his first playoff game was against the unfortunate of the reigning Super Bowl champions, Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like, come on, man. You think he's just gonna be able to pull off a win there? Come on. Like, that's not, it's like he didn't get a layup game. He didn't have to go against Baker Mayfield. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Jalen Hurts? Just, I don't know what type of quarterback he would be unless he had a stacked roster. Let me know in the comments below. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions. Let's get in some fights. But ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We are building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all genuinely feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're all on our way to doing it. And please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help with the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much, and see you next time.